Hey, how's it going today, everybody? It's Robin here with Oracle Rising. So, guys, welcome to my channel. So this channel is about like exiting the matrix, right? And what the powers that be would like us to believe about ourselves and everybody else. And so I've gone through a spiritual awakening myself, and I've noticed a change in my beliefs. And like I really wanted to dedicate this channel to helping other people as they exit the matrix and go along their spiritual path. So what I wanted to talk about this time is the levels of spiritual ascension. Like if you're just really new to what people call awakening, or your spiritual transformation, your ascension, I really hope that this video can help you out a little bit. So there's multiple levels of dimensions, right? Where you ascend from one dimension to the next. And many people believe that you will keep coming back down here to earth. Your soul will keep coming back down here to earth until you reach a certain level. So, and so that your soul will learn lessons, and you will keep learning the same karmic lessons over and over again until you ascend to a certain level. And some people do believe that there's 11 dimensions to ascend through. So please do your own research and do whatever works for you, you guys. So what I really wanted to focus on is in this series is the third dimension, fourth dimension, and the fifth dimension. If you wanted to continue on going up higher, then I'll probably do another video on that. But people talk about 3D, 4D, and 5D. So that's what I wanted to focus on. And these are really important levels of spiritual ascension because it really helps you transcend kind of the rat race of humanity. And I'm just really reminded of something my son said, because he lives in a really, really big city. And he just said he noticed that people are running around all over the place, and just totally blind, like zombies. And that's basically what the matrix is. That's basically what the 3D human matrix is. It's zombie land. And if you have not seen the Matrix, you guys, I really want to recommend it, because the Matrix is a documentary, not a movie. So it can be really enlightening. And once you start to ascend, you will see that how powerful that movie The Matrix is. So in the third dimension, people tend to focus on their human self. People think that they're humans with a soul, but that's not the way it is. And we'll get to that a little bit later. So in 3D, in the third dimension, in the 3D matrix, I made notes. So we identify as human, and all experiences are related to the human form. So you don't really look at anything except just like being in your body and what you can accomplish with your body. You don't really look at your soul. And some people, you might go to your churches and however worship, but that's not really the same thing, is what we'll talk about a little bit later. So happiness is sought outside of the self: possessions, other people, appearance of the physical body, and money. So it seems like everything, and there's that term again, rat race. Everything is a competition. How much do I have? What does my house look like? Do I have the best lawn? Do I have the biggest bank account? Do I have a trophy wife or husband? And happiness is measured against other people with possessions instead of wholeness of self. I mean, if you look at the way that our society worships the 1%, which is ludicrous, because if you look at the 1%, they're basically just hoarders. It's just the thing they hoard is money, and they lord it over the rest of the world, right? So, but everybody's busy trying to achieve that. So money does equal comfort. Like you can buy the things that you need. You can buy your home, whatever, your car, whatever you need to make your life comfortable, support your family. But how humans worship money is just altogether mind-blowing, and there are people that hold on to, people have, there's such a small percentage of people that have the world's wealth, and instead of helping everybody else, they're just helping themselves get richer. It's like honestly, when you look at it, guys, it's sickening. And then everybody's trying to attain that same goal. So anyway, happiness sought through those pursuits, it really relates to being on the third dimension, being stuck in the human matrix. So, and then the third point is like competing with other people, which kind of ties into the happiness being sought outside yourself. Like, again, like, do I have the nicest car? You know, do I have the better job? And like everything is sort of set up like that. If you look at like employment situations, like everything is like you have to keep on going up the ladder to be anybody. Like if you're in a big whatever law firm, or no matter where you are, there's always going to be a higher level, and it's always going to be sought after. And maybe that's not your style, but do you know what I mean? If you just watch people and how they compete, and even our entertainment is all based on competition. And you know, there's more to life than just winning. There is just showing up and participating. And I'll just give you a quick example. So my son used to play football and rugby, and I went to every single one of his games. So whenever the opposing team would make a good play, I would applaud, you know, like I just like, hey, good play or whatever. And then he asked me one day after the game, he said, like, why are you cheering for the other team? And I said, well, I mean, they're doing a good job too, you know, and just because we don't know them, then just because they're opposing you doesn't mean they're not doing a good job. And if they didn't show up on the field today, what would you be doing? You'd be standing around filing your nails, you know, you'd be doing nothing. So, I mean, you have to really encourage people even though they're opposing you. So, but that's like, and it just, people get, oh, my team this and my team that, and then if your team loses, you hate them and stuff like that. So it's all really competition based, and for what? You don't really know anybody on the team, especially in professional sports, and it's all designed to keep you tied to the television or spending your money on going to games. Like the cost of some of these games is just like absolutely crazy, and people are willing to spend all their money on it. So it's just insanity to me. So, I mean, everybody's doing a great job out there. So, I mean, just celebrate each other showing up, right? So I have another point here, which is the perception of good and bad. Like again, and that's why we have the competition. So we have the good and bad team. Like everybody boos the other team that shows up. Oh, you guys suck. And if you were born in a different city, you wouldn't think that team sucked, because they'd all of a sudden be your team. Do you know what I'm getting at? Like, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Like I went to a game in my city, and I was cheering for the opposing team because I like their outfits better, and like I got severely reprimanded by other people in the crowd, and I thought, well, you guys can go F-U-C-K yourself, because are you even kidding me? Like, it's none of your business who I'm cheering for. I like their outfit, you know what I mean? I was just there to have a good time and cheer for everybody. So that's what I think should be happening in sporting arenas. It's all for fun. You know, it's not life or death. I mean, like, who cares who won the football game? Like, seriously? So anyway, so we have the perception of good and bad decisions, whereas, you know, it's all learning. You know, if you make a mistake, well, you're going to learn from it. So it's not necessarily a bad decision, is it? It's just maybe the one that didn't suit you in that moment, but it was probably there to teach you a lesson by your spirit guide. So there is no good and bad decision. So there's no good and bad people. There's people at different levels of experience. You know, and people choose to come down here in certain ways. And I saw Abraham Hicks did this really, really interesting video where she talked about how one particular soul had come back to Earth to experience life as an autistic child. And people were so upset about this autistic child. And she said, well, doesn't that person look happy? You know, like, you're the one that's twisted up in the game about it. So, and they just are having their own experience, and it looks like they're having a pretty good time about it. But like, the more that you start to ascend, the more that you'll start to look at things in a different way. You know, people are here to have their own experience, and it's not up to us to judge people as they go through that experience. So, and then again, the next thing I wanted to point out here is good and bad experiences. So everything teaches you a lesson, you guys, and everything was probably part of your lesson plan as your soul came down to earth to experience something new and to teach your soul more lessons so that you could continue on your ascension path. I need a sip of water here, you guys. Hold on. Okay, and so the last thing I have about the third dimension, 3D human matrix, is assigning labels to ourselves. And it's so puffed up and important. You know, you have people like pounding their chest over putting like 3 letters after their name. And aside from that, like, you're identifying your human accomplishments, right? So you could look at yourself as being, oh, well, I'm a parent, you know, or I'm a chef. You're just using your job title or your current experience in the moment to describe yourself. Instead of seeing who we are, we explain what we do. So if someone was to ask you, who are you right now? How would you respond? Would you say, oh, well, I'm a lawyer, I'm a doctor? That's not who you are. You know, that is what you do. So there's a really deep intrinsic need to have a look at that. And honestly, as I'm talking about this, I'm not sure how I would explain myself, you know, because who am I anyway? And that's what I'm doing on this journey, and wanted to kind of help you guys through it. So instead of assigning labels to ourselves, we really look at ourselves from a heart-centered value and shine our light out to the world to help other people, because we're all connected. And I think that's really lost right now. So I really wanted to try and bring people together in love and light. So guys, I'm gonna leave the video here, and then the next installment I'll do will be on the 4th and 5th dimension. So we'll see you back here for that one. So anyway, guys, have a great day, and sending love and light. Many blessings. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.